Welcome to Inner Sense. This is Prince, and today I want to tackle a slightly different topic. No, it isn't different because this is the kind of content I do, by the way, yeah. So today I want to talk about energy and money, their relationship, and as to why I think they're the same thing. Okay, first off, let's start with money. Money is the ability to buy things. It is buying power. It enables you to buy goods or services. So goods and services are made or done expending by expending physical energy. So you buying a certain good or service, it is you having not to expend that physical energy to accomplish whatever task is at hand that requires that good or that service. It means you buy someone to do that for you. Same as you'd have to expend physical energy to do those things. You expend financial energy to accomplish the very same tasks. Yeah. So in this modern life that you live, everything is money. I mean, if you're not buying a service, you're buying a good. So, you can't do everything yourself. Come to think of it, if you're someone who's busy, let's say you own a company or something, you don't have the time to be mowing your lawn. You don't have time to be mowing your lawn. So you have to pay someone to mow your lawn. And by doing so, you expend financial energy. You are diminishing your resources, you are depleting them by doing so. And then your grass gets mowed, your lawn gets mowed, because you've invested that financial energy and you've used it to replace yourself, as to find someone who can expend their physical energy and experience in doing that task. So yeah, we buy almost everything. So money is basically buying power, the power to buy. Yeah. And then physical energy, it is the ability to do work, the power to act, ability to do work. There are certain things that require action, same as mowing your lawn. Take it for instance, now you're not hiring someone to mow your lawn, you are being paid to mow the lawn. You use your physical energy to mow that lawn, and then somebody pays you. You just giving away your physical energy to accomplish a task so that you can receive financial energy in exchange. You diminish your physical energy, but you receive financial energy. So they create the perfect balance. Hence you get paid to go to work because your boss is buying your energy. If you are a boss, you are buying somebody's energy. You expend resources in order to either get physical or mental labor from a person. So all of those things, they require energy. Hence I'm saying money is energy. Energy is money. So I think in order to attract the opposite of whichever that you want, you have to have an abundance of its counterparts. If you have too much energy and no money, you can use your energy and whatever skills you have, either physically or mentally, and convert them into money. I think that is what most of us should understand. That relationship between money and energy. Yeah, so life, it requires energy to do a lot of things. Either to communicate or to accomplish certain tasks, you have to have energy. You can't talk to people without mental energy. You're supposed to be using your mental clarity in communication. You're supposed to use your communication skills. If you're tired and you're talking to me, it's gonna show that you're tired. I'm not gonna take you seriously. But if you have a vitality and you mean what you say, your body language is going to support you because your body has enough vitality to emphasize your words. That way, you are expending physical energy in order to accomplish that task. Same as if I would have to have money and hire a public speaker to do a speech for me. So, yeah. So, the reason I state the relationship between those two things is because I noticed that a lot of us we sort of dismiss the relationship between them, and it might happen you understand one thing but you misunderstand the other. I mean, if you're someone, take for instance, you have a lot of physical energy, right? If you are in your high status sense, that physical energy becomes much more steadier. You 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 might see yourself becoming more assertive. You might see yourself having just a high functional vitality, having high physical vitality in order to do things. If you're a physical person who's much more hands-on, if you're someone who's cerebral, you notice this by having much more mental clarity as when you just woke up in the morning. Your brain is clean, your body is fresh. You are, there is nothing that's fogging your brain. There's nothing that's causing any blockages in your brain because your brain is clear. You have that mental vitality as much as the very same person who has physical vitality. And another symptom from this, you might notice yourself becoming much more relaxed when you have high vitality because, I mean, in your environment as a creature, if you have high vitality, your body knows you have the capacity to do whatever work you should be doing, be it accomplishing a certain task. I mean, even if we take it to fighting, if you have high vitality, I mean, even if you don't know how to fight, but you do have the strength, you can even be able to defend yourself. It's gonna show. Yeah. So your body, it relaxes in in general because you don't feel as much threats as you would if you were tired or you were exhausted, you're suffering from fatigue. You can sort of notice this in people who do practice, who do spiritual practices in order to circulate their physical energy inside their body. They're actually much more steadier physically. They are not restless. Their physical energy is much more directed. They move purposefully. Same as someone who's much more cerebral, who would be abundant in mental energy. Their mental energy becomes more steadier in the sense that they don't become more reactive. And if you're someone who's cerebral, I think you can notice this. You become much more observational and analytical in behavior. If your brain is clear, you have no brain fog, you have nothing that's stopping your brain from functioning at its highest because it's full of vitality just as the same as the body is. So yeah, I mean, having low energy physically, you may notice this by having a low vitality. I don't know if I'm the only one who experiences this, but you sort of like physically shrink, and I think that subconsciously makes you to behave in submissive ways. Yeah, I think that's according to my experience. Though, if I'm having a low vitality, like I'm much more prone to behaving in ways that indicate physical restlessness, in the sense that my energy is either depleted or I'm not managing it correctly, and I become restless and I display lots of neuroses by unnecessary movement. That is one symptom of people with a high physical vitality that cannot circulate it, or somebody with low physical vitality who may want to overcompensate for that fact. Yeah, and then having a high energy mentally Also, it results, having low energy mentally, this results in you being much more reactive. Imagine this, you are tired. If I were to ask you something that required mental effort, you are much more likely to get upset or just give me a response that indicates a lack of interest. You sort of become mentally fragile, just as when you're about to sleep. You can't be doing. Take for instance, they take you into an exam room and you're tired. You won't perform great because your energy will be scattered mentally. You won't be able to have that focus, that directed focus. Same as the person with low vitality won't be able to be doing one thing at a time. They might doze off. Same as the cerebral person with a low energy or a mental energy they cannot manage or control. It also shows off in its own ways. The symptoms I usually notice in myself is that I become more reactive and I lack mental clarity. And just in general, my mental energy is just dissipated. I can't just focus on one thing. I'll be thinking about a lot of things, which makes me even more prone to stress. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. So, yeah, my purpose for doing this video is sort of to remind you to control your energy and be aware of your energy levels because they might be affecting your life in ways you don't know. I mean, sort of drew something here, sort of a diagram. If you have energy, you can do work. And if you do work, depending on what kind of work you do, you either get money, resources, or information. And money, resources, or information that will give you power. And by getting that power, you gain the energy to accomplish other things. It's an endless cycle. Same as if you were to work, you were to have energy and work and get paid. Yeah, and get paid. You would have financial power to buy things. You would have financial energy to buy things. Same as somebody who has perhaps financial energy. You could pay for things that would allow you to spare your physical vitality. In that way, you don't have to be exhausted. You don't have to suffer from fatigue. That's the same thing your boss does. They pay for you to do the job they pay you to do so that they don't have to do it themselves because they know it might require them to use more of their time or use more of their vitality, and they know they're gonna get tired or run out of time performing that task. So they utilize the faster financial energy because they can replace themselves with you and use your physical vitality in order to complete that task. So yeah, it's a vice versa relationship. So my point about all of this is that you sort of have to learn how to conserve your energy. Think about it. If you want to have money, you have to expend your physical energy. And by expending it, there are a lot of things during the day that compete for your energy. If you find those 2 or 3 important things that require you to have physical vitality in order to perform, you can sort of pull your energy away from all these other activities and habits that are not benefiting you. That way, you have spare physical vitality to use purposefully on your goals. You have spare physical vitality to use to get things done that must be done. Unlike, let's say, going to drink a beer, you get drunk, your physical energy is dissipated, your mental energy is off balance, you can't do anything. You've wasted that. As opposed to someone who just sits with themselves in the morning, they plan their day and they're able to attack their day productively and accurately because they guide their energy with precision. That is the same as money. You have to conserve it so that you have more, so that you could be even aware of opportunities that other people who are lacking in that financial resource wouldn't be aware of, simply because they have low resources. Imagine this: with your current monetary value, I'm guessing most of us watching this video were not millionaires. Just try to think about this. If it were you against someone who has a million, it would be much easier for them to utilize opportunities because they actually have the financial energy and capacity to execute on them. Same as someone who has the physical vitality to do tasks. They can expend that energy whenever it's necessary because they're not wasting it on unnecessary things. Same as money, you conserve it. You're gonna be able to invest it wherever you should, with accuracy and with purpose. So yeah, I think that's it for me. That's the whole lesson. Just basically just conserve your energy so you'll be able to invest it properly where it should go, depending on the priorities in your life. Right now, are you seeking physical vitality or are you seeking financial freedom? If you're seeking financial freedom, cut away all these things that use up your physical vitality and direct that vitality into things that will gain you skill, or skills that will gain you money. That's the only way. You use your energy to gain money. If you have money, you have to use your money to do the things that will get you your energy back. For instance, I got money, but let's say I don't have physical endurance. I can use my money to pay for gym membership, and then I can exercise. As I do that regularly, I start becoming more physically active, more physically enduring, because my body now has the resources it requires to function better. Same as somebody who doesn't have money, who takes their energy and directs it with purpose, and now they're able to make money and accomplish all their financial goals. So yeah, I think it's all about respecting that balance. Respect your energy, and then money will respect you. Respect your money, and your energy will respect you. I mean, the more of both of these you have, I think that is what cultivates the high status individual in you. This thing that you fantasize yourself being, that is how you bring it to reality. That's how you manifest it into reality. You expend energy. Yeah, that was it for me today. If you did like this video, please don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. Also hit the notification icon so you get notified the next time I post something. And if it ain't working for you, then it ain't. But if it is working for you, please help me to reach others as well. I don't know, I want this to be my living, so yeah, kinda makes sense that you should subscribe so I can reach others. That way, I also expend my physical energy for you to get your spiritual energy. Yeah, that's it. In a way, maintain your spirit. Bye bye.